support.
The maestro, please!
The first time this year we've had new music in every genre, including pop. This'll be for the week of
March 7th, 2020.
On this day in music in 1808, the Pierian Sodality was founded at Harvard University. It would later become the Harvard Radcliffe Orchestra, which is arguably the oldest symphony orchestra in the United States. This is not our new classical album. This is Lindsey Stirling's second studio album, coming out in 2014, and being her best charting album. It got to number 2 on the Billboard 200. So if you want a good introduction to Lindsey Stirling, you'll certainly get it here. These are performances of old music. When I say old music, I mean old music. People typically think classical in the form of Bach, Beethoven, Mozart. This kind of music predates that by a long shot. Cappella Romana typically tends to focus around music coming from the Eastern Orthodoxy part of Christianity. So if you want to expose yourself to music that is very old, now you have the chance.
Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. From this place, I don't believe.
Pat Metheny is probably one of the biggest jazz artists actively performing right now, and this album gives you a great taste of what he's capable of if you haven't been exposed to him before. Also, fun fact, Pat Metheny is the only person to win Grammy Awards, which he has 20 of, in 10 different categories.
Singing,
I love rock and roll. When the dreamer dies, so dies the dream. Turn me inside out, so please, soak me.
For the Amity Affliction fans out there, if you were disappointed that Misery wasn't as heavy as some of their older stuff was, well, this is certainly a comeback to some heavier stuff, both in terms of sound and, well, topic. A decade later, the Prince of Darkness returns, rightfully topping the rock charts. Honestly, I actually really enjoyed listening to this album. I was really looking forward to new Ozzy Osbourne music, but who knows which way it was gonna go. Regardless, the Prince did not disappoint.
It's bigger than hip hop, hip hop.
Pain gon' flow. Pain gon' flow. It's on you if you gon' ever let it go. Time gon' go. Time gon' go.
His 14th mixtape, and actually only 4 months after AI YoungBoy 2. I guess he's trying to keep the momentum up. There is a lot going on in this album, including with just its name. Regardless, this is a much darker sound than her 2015 album Art Angels, and takes influences from nu metal and ethereal wave. It is also some sort of concept album meaning to depict, and I quote, an anthropomorphic goddess of climate change.
And now I need some help from the maestro, please.
Tony fuck 12 fuck SWAT. Busting all the bells out the box. I just hit a lick with the box. Had to put the stick in the box.
Don't know if this is going to be in the top 5 on the Billboard 200 next week, but the box is still number 1 on the Hot 100, so I imagine that at least is going to stay up there.
I'm going through changes. I'm going through changes.
If you're a diehard Justin Bieber fan and you loved this album, I recommend checking out the docuseries Justin Bieber Seasons. It actually includes how this album was actually made and just his creative process overall. People are loving this new album and saying it's his best one in years, although it's been 10 years since he's released anything. Regardless, they're comparing it to his early solo work, including when he was with Black Sabbath. Also, he plans on releasing another album this year, so shout out to Ozzy.
Pain gon' flow. Pain gon' flow. It's on you if you gon' ever let it go. Time gon' go. Time gon' go.
I just want to say while I was researching this mixtape, I couldn't help but notice that the image on his Wikipedia page is just him holding a wad of cash and flipping everyone off. And if that's not emblematic of who he is, then I don't know what is. People love BTS. Obviously, this is a follow-up to their EP, Map of the Soul Persona, and actually has 5 of the songs from that EP in this album. In addition, this album has hit number 1 in the 5 biggest world music markets, making BTS the first Asian group to ever accomplish that feat. You got medieval chant music on one side and K-pop music on the other, and a little bit of everything in between, so hopefully you can find something that you're vibing with.
And now I need some help from the maestro, please. Maestro.